Hello everybody, I made a witherless AFK tree farm for 1.9. So it works like this: you have to grab a mending tool, it's an efficiency 5, unbreaking 3 mending axe. Then you have to grab some saplings, put it in your second inventory slot. Then you also have to make your dog stand up. And yeah, turn the farm on. Then you would stand here, have your axe in one hand, the sapling in the other, then aim at the top from the first log and hold down right and left. And as you can see, you would plant a new sapling. When you aim at the second log, that's where you plant the new sapling. And around me, a lot of pistons would break almost all of the leaves except the one directly above the tree trunk. As you might have noticed, my computer had some problems recording it at real-time speed, so that's why I used a tick speed mod here and recorded it 10 times slower. Yeah, and this is the piston sequence. As you can see, all the logs, the leaves are broken except the one on top of the tree, but if you want to, you could also deal with that. So this is 3 more times in real-time speed. So I have to confess, I'm not the biggest fan of this type of tree farms, because my opinion, wither farms are just a lot better. So wither farms aren't hard to build, they are 100% reliable if you use the bedrock, and you can build them everywhere. You can find bedrock locations on the nether where you can use them, or even if you remove some bedrock, then you could basically build it everywhere. So this is a wither farm that I showed recently on my channel. If you can use a wither, I will always recommend to build a farm like this. But on some servers, for example, where mob griefing is disabled, you couldn't use a wither, and that's why I made this farm for everybody that doesn't want to use a wither for whatever reason or just can't. So this farm has some disadvantages compared to the wither farm. Mostly you can only farm 3 tree types. You can farm birch trees, oak trees and jungle trees. You couldn't farm spruce trees because they also want to grow 6 high, and when a log would remain here, you can't reach that. Then no spruce tree would grow. I can quickly demonstrate that if I plant down a sapling. And as you can see, the spruce tree wouldn't grow. But yeah, birch works. So this farm works with those 3 tree types, and it works best with oak. The simple reason is we have to limit the tree height to 5 by having a iron block 8 blocks above the dirt. And jungle trees can grow up to 12 high, and birch trees 7 high, and small oak trees 4 or 5 high. So a lot of attempts to grow a jungle tree, for example, or birch trees are aborted, and that's why you need to use more bone meal, because those attempts just aborted. And so the farm would also be a little bit slower for jungle and birch trees. So I would recommend to use it for oak if you just need any tree type, and you would also get some apples back. And yeah, so you can't farm spruce or acacia like with the wither farm, but it has one advantage. In 1.9 you have a lot of troubles to get saplings back because of some bug or changed behavior. And Coolman recently suggested a method to get more saplings back, because the biggest problem is that they get too much momentum and fly outside of the tree farm, is to replace some blocks that would break the leaves with open fence gates. And this keeps more saplings inside the tree farm chamber. And with this method, I did a 10-minute test and broke even with jungle saplings. It's kind of close. I can't tell for sure if it's really sustainable over a long period, but at least you come close to get enough saplings back. Just FYI, I also used this in the wither tree farm. You can't use that trick as much as in the other one, because you need to transport the logs out. And at the moment I replaced all possible blocks with open fence gates, and here with end rods, because the fence gates would be closed. And then it's still not enough for jungle tree saplings, but there's one other thing you could do. If you don't farm acacia, for example, if you really want to farm a jungle, then you could also remove all the acacia logs here and put fence gates. But if you would farm acacia again, if you don't replace those fence gates on your own with logs, the farm would do it. So, and this way you would come very close to breaking even with jungle saplings. I think if you would put down a few more hoppers and hopper minecarts, this farm would also work with jungle. But it's kind of close, and yeah. But back to topic. With the manual farm, you get 6,200 logs per hour when you farm oak trees, which is the best tree type, which is quite decent for this type of farm. The maximum possible, if you would chop down logs all the time, would be 9,000. That's the theoretical limit, because you need 8 game ticks with phase 2 efficiency 5 to break a log. Most of the saplings and about half of the logs are collected by those hoppers. You would also stand on top of a hopper, for example, if your inventory is filled, if you want to AFK over a longer amount of time. Then I have a filter system, so all the saplings and logs come this way, then they go over this filter, which filters out the logs, and the saplings go back to the dropper and are shot back to you. So if you would have your inventory filled with single saplings like this, this I guess the best solution if you want to AFK for a long time. One of the new features in 1.9 I use here is the manning on the axe to repair it. So there's a skeleton spawner nearby, so if you build the farm next to a skeleton spawner, you wouldn't run out of XP, because you have a dog nearby, and if you set him up, he would attack the skeletons, and the skeletons can't shoot back. He kills them through the corner of the block. And then the XP is translocated with this piston. That's also one of the new 1.9 features, and it's translocated inside of a water stream. So as you can see here, there's a hopper minecart in there that would grab out the arrows, bones, and bows, and the XP is flushed this way. Let's do a bottle. Basically against this piston. I'm failing to demonstrate it. Anyway, it's flushed against this piston, and then they're translocated through this piston, which works in 1.9, and the player would pick it up, and the axe is repaired. And I think one spawner would yield about 2,000 XP per hour, but you just need 1,000 XP per hour, so it would even make a little bit of XP profit. The dog doesn't teleport to you because he is less than 12 blocks away from you. So here's your AFK spot. That's the back of the piston next to the water stream. So the XP is translocated at the back here, and then you would pick it up. And the bones and the arrows are transported into this chest. I'm getting rid of the bows because they would just fill up your inventory with unnecessary bows, and it dispenses in the cactus. But if for some reason you want to keep the bows, this is also possible. By turning off the farm, you would also disable the spawner by turning on the lights. I adjusted this farm to work best with phase 2 and efficiency 5, but if you want to use an inferior tool, it's also possible. All you have to do is adjust the pulse extender here. So you could, for example, replace this dust for a block, and then it would work, for example, with an iron axe and no haste, because this pulse extender basically disables the bone meal droppers. Also, one note, if you, for example, don't limit the tree height to 5 high, so if you don't limit it and let the jungle trees grow 12 high, then of course you don't waste that much bone meal and it would be faster. But I kept the farm at this size because it's just simpler and it would still work. So you waste some bone meal, yeah. But it would be a little bit more difficult because of course you would need to add more pistons if the tree can grow at different heights. And I'm already maxing out the signal strength, so this is 15. With some instant repeaters you could easily build this farm higher, so it would be more efficient with jungle trees. One more note, of course you can expand the storage here. And then regarding the dog, make sure that you sit him down before you leave the area or he will teleport to you. And on higher difficulties there's also a chance that some of the mobs would spawn with Thorns armor, so your dog might get damaged. Yeah, letting them drop down so that are mostly one hit, but still if it would spawn with feather falling armor and Thorns, yeah, your dog could be damaged. What you could do is place a dispenser under him and add a clock that would heal him with a splash potion every, I guess, 10 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes to keep your dog alive. Could also put more dogs in there, so you could lose some dogs over time. I guess there's really no limit how much you would put in there, but you would have problems to sit them down afterwards. The farm itself isn't that hard to build. Of course you need some redstone to power all the leaf breaking pistons, but I kept it as compact and simple as possible. Unless this video gets widely popular, I'm not planning a tutorial. I just recently did a tutorial on the superior wither farm. So as said, if you can use a wither, I would always recommend doing so. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video, have a good day, and goodbye.